All right, so we're going to talk about Sony tonight. And the reason why we're talking about Sony has to do with a college student last time who's doing media. And I was in a dilemma. He brought up a camera he wanted, and I had a budget I wanted for him, and I had a certain amount I wanted it to do. Now, all of us parents have been in the same situation where we've got a budget, we're trying to figure out why, and we got our students, and we're, just making it all happen. And it turns out it's amazing what you can get for a first-time student in videography in the Sony lineup over Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, Blackmagic. It's just nuts. And so it made me think about what we can do as a business owner, what you can do in general, uh, just getting into live streaming, videography, and all the rest. So let's keep this under 3 minutes in this first part, and then I'm going to dive into it. Sony's the best camera you can ever buy if you're looking to do anything in video and have an egocentric system that can move you all the way up to a Venice camera. And at first I thought it was bullshit. Couldn't believe it. I thought it was BS. Because in a lot of ways, you're not able to make those leaps and bounds with Canon, with Nikon, with Panasonic, with all the rest of them. And you can with this camera, which is phenomenal. But I love this. Secondarily, they have set up a camera that if you're in the Sony lineup, you know this for a fact, they don't hinder you like you would like an iPhone. You got to buy one iPhone or the other, you lose features. Frankly put, you can buy one of the cheaper of these Sony cameras, and it's got features that you would see in its $3,000, $5,000 camera. That kind of hurts your pocket a little bit, makes you feel a little tender. At the same time, it lets you know that you can run multiple different cameras to do multiple scenarios or get somebody in, and it does the job specifically needed to do. So if you're a first-time student in media, if you are a first-time business owner, if you're just someone who's trying to be a cam op and don't know what you want to do, I'm going to recommend Sony. And the camera I'm going to recommend, I got the previous model for my son only because it was like, okay, we're just going to stay in a certain budget, but it still has S-Log 3, is in the previous one. It still has USB-C webcam streaming. It still has a whole ton of other big features like the specialized autofocus and everything else, but we're going to talk about this new camera that if you had $2,500 to start your business and you wanted a camera, memory, cage, lens, tripod, video pod, monitor, everything you would need to start your business, and that's all you have to work with, including like cases, you can start with this camera here and you would just knock it out the park. So let me bring that camera up here real quick. Here we go. So let's go ahead and talk about this camera. The ZV-E10. Sony, you got to have better names for your cameras. All of us hate the name of your cameras, and I love your cameras. So let's start off here. You got $1,000 for the body. Boom, right there. Good price. They do offer it with the power zoom, but frankly put, I wouldn't do the power zoom. I would just do the body only and buy some nice lenses for it. Here's some of the things that set this camera it goes ridiculous from here. So you're going to get a nice sensor on it. You're going to get 4K on it. You're going to get 120p on it. You're going to get 4K 60 on it, which this is something you can slow down and speed up. And the huge thing with that is it is an all-eye. So a professional level footage in a non-professional price camera. Of course, you've got the S-Logs. You've got all the rest of it here. One key thing for our people who are between the ages of 18 and 30, which is who I'm dealing with. I'm not going to talk any about parents below that age. Live streaming through USB-C or via Wi-Fi direct off of your cell phone, which is really awesome. There's also an app you can use for that too. It does have the slow-mo in it. It does have intervals. It has phase priority. It has tons of adjustability on speeds. It does transfer data. Now, this is really cool. So if you buy one of the new Type A cards, you're usually worried about transfer speeds and getting stuff off the camera into your computer. You don't have to worry about that anymore. With Sony, you plug in the USB-C, you have it pick it as a mass storage device, and it will transfer over 400 and some megabytes per second. It is just super fast. Also has Wi-Fi, has easy record buttons. It's got creative apps on it. Thing is crazy. Now here's the thing. We're gonna look through all the features. Right now, it does have the double warranty, which is really awesome. Uh, this is what I was talking about. The 422 10-bit 4K 60 and all eye. That is freaking awesome. That's a 600 megabits per second footage. This is high-end professional footage at $1,000. You are not going to beat that anywhere for that price. And I'm tempted to add a couple of these into my fleet. And the only issue that I've seen with these is overheating. And thanks to what is it? Small rig. They have a fan that you can put onto the back of this, and it won't overheat. I've gone, like 5 hours straight or 4 hours straight with my Sony A7 IV, so I know to do the same with this camera at 60p. So that is just awesome. The vlogging on this is pretty cool. It's got some cool features on it that you're not going to find in other cameras. Ignore all this stuff. I mean, good color and all that. Yes, it does have the updated processors. Even my FX30 does not have all these extra processors, which does have the same sensor, but processors do allow you to do some extra cool things. Forget that there. Creative looks, make your own thing. S-Cinetone. I got to tell you, S-Cinetone is one of my favorite ones to work with. And it having S-Cinetone makes it really easy for someone who's getting into videography, who is using a video editing software like DaVinci Resolve and having all eye footage. Smooth. I'd always recommend just use all eye footage once you got this. If you can afford the memory card, which they now are selling memory cards, like I got a 480 gigabyte Type A card for less than at $150, which was insane. It was just and it worked. Autofocus covers most of the sensors. Tracking on this is insane. Speaking of which, this is something really cool that most people don't know, because if they're using third-party lenses, you can't always do this. But if you have Sony first-party lenses, there's a way to actually adjust your manual focus while you're in autofocus in video, so you can move the subject forward and backwards if the autofocus isn't grabbing what you want it to, or if you just want to rack it real quick, which is really cool. That's a nice feature there. The 4K 60, I recommend use it if you want to, but it's not always the best. Wait, I don't think this uses Type A card. I will check and see if this uses Type A card. I don't remember if it does, but I do know that it can do the 4K 60 and the 120, so it should be using the Type A cards. This little knob right here, this is actually pretty cool. So starting off with a small camera like that, but having power zoom control means you can use some of the more professional lenses with this camera. This little, that little shoe right there, if you are someone who wants to have professional audio, you can put the K3M into that shoe and you can have XLR input in 4-channel 24-bit audio. In other words, this thing is loaded. I remember like 3 years ago, I would love to have a camera like this and it would have all those things, but no. And here it is, all intro. This is actually pretty dang cool. This $1,000 camera has 10-bit all eye, but it's not for just like slow-mo videos or time lapses like Canon is. This is supported all the way through. So it's going to be HD and it's going to be 4K and it's going to be, I believe on this one it's 24, 30, and 60 on 8 and 120 on HD and 24, 30, and 60 on 4K, which means you're just getting greatness all the way through. And then since this has the same sensor as my FX30 that I use every day professionally, hurts my feelings to say this, I may end up buying one of these as a second cam just because it would match colors perfectly over the A7 IV that I have. S-Log3, right there, built into it. Pretty dang awesome. It actually has a new updated menu, has a new vertical format supported. This is for those who are in social media. Now, if you have a student or you have a team that's going into social media, having vertical integrated video is going to be and is the future. You're going to watch YouTube on here, Instagram, all the rest of them. There's going to be a way to link videos to long form videos from short form videos. This is just the future, and Sony's already sitting on top of it and ready to go. There is touch operations. There's a couple cool things you can do on touch operations, though, that you cannot do on the Canon that I have seen so far, or on the Nikon or the Panasonics. I have not seen this racking system work as efficiently or as good as it does on either one of those. The Sony, you literally can have it in manual focus, tap on it, and if you've got your settings right, which means the setting I use is lock on to and speed to. So speed is slow, but lock on to is really locked onto the subject matter. It will slowly rack as if you had an AC there. That is cool to be able to use on a small camera. Now, to all my ACs out there, I'm sorry. They are actually making cameras now that let you do this. Be aware this is coming down the road, and it will be sitting sometime in the big Venice, because this is where they try it out to see how people get used to it, and have the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds get used to it. So when they start moving up in the industry, that's what's going to be the standard. Now, defocus background is a pretty cool feature too, because a lot of creatives are also showing off products like Rode, or yeah, do like a Rode thing here. Hit the button and it would focus on Rode, not me, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's just product placement. It's for selling stuff and kind of important. Live streaming simple, all that stuff is pretty awesome. The Creative app, there's a couple cool things you can do on that. I'm not sure if that one qualifies for the monitor version, but if it does, you can actually turn your phone this into a monitor. That is pretty awesome. I've used it a lot of times to make sure how the LUT looks and everything else. I believe you can even put creative LUTs into the system and download it. So it's got a lot of features that I have in my FX30. Makes you kind of go, ugh. And about, I don't know, that might be 1080p, but if you even got like 2 hours and we're ready to go, and this does do quick power delivery, which I wish my FX30 had that, because I have quick power delivery with, oh my God, with my portable chargers. That would be so nice. The rest of this is here. Now, I'm going to share the screen, but hopefully this brings up everything still. Let me pop this up. It does. Let me show you a couple things that get technically boring. So if you're still here, you're the technical people and you want to know all these things, so let's go through it. Dimension-wise, not that big. Weight-wise, not very big. It is a true 5 gigabit 3.2, which is awesome. I do not like that it's micro HDMI, but it works. The MI shoe is there. It does have headphones and it does have input. Microphone input. Wi-Fi, of course. Some of the things is here. The Kelvin. I do like how you can do some adjustments there quite quick. It does work like a camera. The 4K and HD, like I talked about before, is 60 in HD. Your rest of stuff stills. I'm talking video here. 50. Oh, so you got transition speed control, shift sensitivity control. This is actually pretty cool. Human, animal, bird. There is a huge market for animals. There's a huge market for birds in particular. That's pretty cool. Now the human part there, we're all human. We want to be seen. You can do proxy recording, which is awesome. Here's one thing that my FX30 has that this one does not have. This does not have raw output, which is fine. But it does have time code. It does match shooting rates. Here's your video resolutions, and it's simple, like 4K 30, 60, all the rest of that. This is for streaming. This is the cool part. This actually streams better than my FX30, because my FX30 can't do the USB, the 4K 30. Kind of pissed. Wish it could. It can. This also can do SRT. Now, for all of us out there in streaming world, you just heard me. I said SRT, which means we can get into a very, very high-end streaming situation, protocol-wise, and it works. I, I'm super stoked about that. Now, here's the audio thing. Not everybody will understand this nor appreciate it, which is just fine. Everybody knows compressions, and if you don't, that's cool. You'll get over that in your classes. But most of the times when you're in your video classes, they'll have you buy the audio recorder that has 24-bit audio to outdo the video. Now, these Rode Wireless Pros are 32-bit float audio, but having 24-bit is professional level, and they have you buy an external recorder for that so that you can capture that, because most of the units have 16-bit internal, like it shows the first part. But this also has the option for 24-bit, and then also with the right accessory and the shoe accessory, you can do 4 channels of 24-bit audio, and that's a poly file, by the way. So if you're looking in your Premiere Pro, you'll see 1 track with 4 lines. If you're in Final Cut Pro, sucks to be you, and then you have to go to a DAW to which DAW to have, but you have to go to the DAW. Or if you're in DaVinci Resolve, it automatically separates all 4 audio lines that are on different categories. I have to separate the channels like it's Pro. By the way, recording formats are super easy on this, video-wise. USB streaming, once again, easy to do. This up here was actually, hold on. This was network streaming. That's through Wi-Fi. So now I'm even more pissed off because this can stream higher in Wi-Fi than my freaking FX30. So that's just, and that's a USB. It's just amazing what you can do with this camera in so many different ways. Has the built-in stereo to this. The HDMI output, this is still very nice. It is a 422 10-bit output. That's nice. What that means is when you're trying to use an Atomos recorder or an external device, see what it looks like, and you may even want to record it, you're going to get spectacular video out of it. That's not something you can say for Canon, Nikon, and the rest at the $1,000 level. And then it has a mass storage interface, that's what I was talking about earlier. Headphone terminals, all the rest of that, USB-C. Show recording. Here's where things get crazy cool. So if you're recording in HS, which is that new high compression, that's cool. Here's all your compressions. But if you're doing all I, you're going to get true 600 megabit. Almost near what's required for Netflix for video side, 240 megabits per second. It's a little bit lower than that when you see the actual recording side of it. Other than that, I mean, here's the rest of the specs. Does it talk about what memory you need as an E-mount? All right, cool. We're out of this here. So let me get out of the this screen here, and let me move this. I'm back. Okay. A couple things that weren't in that. Number one, you have more lens options. Nobody, I mean nobody, has more lens options than Sony right now. It used to be Canon. I loved Canon's option. It's just that when Sony went to mirrorless and dove into it and said, I will stay with it, they kind of made the mark. And that's not to say that others can't catch up. Right now, the only player in the game that can do anything you want to do is Sony. And having all of this equipment and all this equipment level to be able to do at that price, just amazing. And I'm actually contemplating now to adding the ZV-10 Mark II. And well, kid, next year, if he still likes doing what he's doing, 3rd year of college, see what happens. Still loves it. I'll get him the nicer one, and he'll have 2 cameras. Have a 2 camera setup, so you can do a wide and tight, never using all the rest. So that's my thoughts on that. Been cool, been fun. Peace. Oh, wait. Hold on. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on LinkedIn, make any comments you'd like to do. It's always a pleasure to have an audience with you and be able to explain some of the things that I find to be important for the AV future that we're going to have. Because, to be frank, every one of your employees has one of these. Every one of us has one of these. One of our children and everybody else. So, if you're going to get information out to people, you have to figure out a way to disseminate it to this or your toes.